Welcome everyone to the show. We're thrilled to have you with us today for an exciting journey of discovery and creativity. Let's make this an unforgettable experience together.
Alright, so what we're up to is I've been on a multi-week rabbit hole of deploying to AWS, specifically because we want to make video containers, like contained apps that edit video, specifically as a microservice thing like that, and then, to then deploy on AWS in a way that lets it scale those services up flexibly. I've been going through a few different sort of like approaches to AWS, and I was a bit in the weeds with where I was working on all of it, and it's just, there's a lot of moving parts. I started with doing essentially a whole cloud formation stack, and then realizing, like, let's go from the bottom up instead, which I was having some luck with, but I guess now I was able to take a break and actually work on the, like, container app, which is like the video editing aspect. So I've got like a container app that now should take a video and edit it, be overloaded with like all the different moving parts. So yeah, where should we start?
It sounds like you've been navigating quite the intricate journey with AWS, transitioning from a broad cloud formation approach to focusing more granularly on the base elements, specifically the container app for video editing microservices. Given the complex landscape you've described, it might be beneficial to streamline our focus in a way that helps you progress effectively. Here are a couple of potential starting points. 1. Dive deeper into refining and testing the container app for video editing. This could involve ensuring the app successfully executes its intended functions, optimizing its performance, and considering how it will integrate with the broader microservice architecture you're envisioning. 2. AWS strategy. Reflect on your AWS deployment strategy, now with a bottom-up approach. We could explore more about AWS services that could support your microservice architecture, such as ECS Elastic Container Service or EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service for container orchestration, and Lambda for serverless computing if applicable. This might help in finding the most scalable and cost-effective solution for your video editing service. 3. Scaling and performance optimization. Considering you want to scale services flexibly, we could also focus on best practices for scaling and optimizing the performance of your video editing microservices. This could include exploring AWS's auto-scaling options, load balancing, and efficient resource management. Which area feels most pressing to you at the moment, or is there a different angle you'd like to approach first?
Maybe since I've got video ahead, we can just catch up with what I'm up to with AWS, so I'll just give you like the sort of like top of my mind rundown of where I've gotten up to.
Which area feels most pressing to you at the moment, or is there a
Okay, so I'll give you a quick overview of where I'm up to is, as far as I've got Docker, the container for ECR, it's working fine, so that's good. Now I think like what I need to do is create a, well, it's like for the container image. I then am able to, I've created a security group, I've created an instance Um, I am profile role, just looking at my notes here. Let's make sure it's ECS, EC2 in this case. So there's like an ECS, when you create an instance, it needs to be for EC2. I need to make sure that the account has the right token. So basically, the one end of the cloud formation approach, which isn't working. So then I guess what I need to do is, so I've got the, I know how to make an instance of EC, it's pretty easy. Well, that's the right one, it's another question. I then need to get the image on the instance. And I've made this video editing image, I think, I'm sure. And then I need to, like, make a container, or is that the instance over there? And then I need it on the cluster to, like, to make a service that has a task that is, I don't know, run. Like, I'm not sure if the task is supposed to be receiving, maybe is the task supposed to be speeding up the server and exposing the API. So I don't know, let's go from there. I've been through, like, I've kind of feel like I've covered all the ground from different directions, but not enough to make it full. Just get it lost, right? So that's where I'm up to. So maybe let's have another crack at Amazon because why not? It's been stressing out trying to, I just don't know what I'm doing, really.
Which area feels most pressing to you at the moment, or is there a different angle you'd like to approach first?
So yeah, let's start with like getting the container on the instance. So I've got it on ECR, and I've got an instance, but yeah, I don't think, maybe the train shall make, or hopefully they shall now.
Getting the container from ECR onto your EC2 instance involves a few steps. Here's a basic outline to bridge the gap and ensure your Docker container stored in ECR is deployed and running on your EC2 instance. Step 1. Ensure AWS CLI and Docker are installed on EC2. First, make sure the AWS CLI and Docker are installed on your EC2 instance. This allows you to interact with AWS services and manage Docker images directly from the instance. For Docker, you can typically install it with bash sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get install docker, io. For AWS CLI, installation steps can vary but generally involve bash sudo apt-get install AWS CLI. Ensure Docker is running with sudo service docker start and configure AWS CLI with your credentials using AWS configure. Step 2. Authenticate Docker to your ECR repository. Before pulling your Docker image, you need to authenticate your Docker client to your Amazon ECR registry. Use the get login password command provided by the AWS CLI to authenticate Docker to the registry. Bash AWS ECR get login password -region your region, sudo docker login username AWS password in your AH account ID, DOR, your region, Amazon. Come replace your region, your AWS account ID, and other placeholders with your actual AWS account and region details. Head up Step 3. Pull your Docker image from ECR to EC.
Okay, so I think that's maybe when creating an instance, we need to go from there because I don't actually know how to connect to the instance. Actually, I'm doing it from the command line. So maybe let's just start from zero. Assuming you have at least an ECR. Maybe not. So when I come up with deliver what it is, I can just push this to nowhere, which is like this little service. That's interesting that this get created by a cloud formation template. So Cortex is the name of this app, so it's like almost feel this is one of those things where I'm just like not really not smart enough, but just I'm just like launching it with no real anything. Okay, so I'm basically always, like if I'm manually doing this, I'm actually setting up Docker on the instance, um, and then using Docker to do the build. Okay, so I'm in the instance now, but it's, apt-get Docker, none of those commands are working. I've got Amazon Linux 2023, so I just picked the most default everything. So this is kinda cool, where I guess, with railroads, obviously, great system, I'm sure, I don't really know much about what's going on. But then, it's cool, here I'm getting a bit closer to the middle, which I always like to do. Oh, fun. Just Das ist man configure SSO, Samsung, start your role, and this SSO. Oh shit, this one that. This is working, it's like on different devices. So now I should be able to do all this shit that I'll do it here. Which puts me in. Then save it and watch it. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is brutal. we'll see what this does, I guess. Too lazy to... Okay. I guess we'll see what happens. Well, I guess I just repeated it by... accident. So it's just what I just did. Okay, let's try not to just unlike in the command line. I know I'm gonna have to like do a deep dive on this thing. Is how do I send how do I compose an HTTPS request with curl, like basically I just wanna like test try from now and testing out the local version of the app without actually integrating it into the client environment. So I just need to do a curl that basically sends an object that has a key, an address key, and then like a list of text strings, which is the prompts, because it's like generating images and stuff like that, and probably something else, but that doesn't mean things. So it's like curl HTTPS localhost 5000 transform media request body blah blah. So by command line, I guess, whatever. It worked, and I was able to pull this container out. So really, I didn't. It's funny now. That is, uh, that's pretty odd. Yeah, it's funny now. What does that mean? Is that any better? Does that change anything? I think, this is like a custom voice transcription thing, and, maybe it's interfering with the mic. How do I, let me see if I can listen to that. Classic. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Oh my. Testing, testing. What's up? Oh my. Testing, testing. Default. I guess maybe I'll change it to...
It's gonna be better. Oh man. It's gonna be better. Oh man. Yeah, I guess that's fixed it. It's gonna be better. Oh, man. Alright, back to the... Yeah, I guess that's fixed it. That'd be better.
Alright, back to the...
Yeah, I guess that's fixed it. That'd be better.
This is gonna make a weird loop. Back to the...
Yeah, I guess that's fixed it. That'd be better.
1, 2,
this
3,
is gonna make a
4.
weird
I declare
back
a
to
thumb
the...
war. When I
I guess
sing my
that's
thumb war song,
fixed it.
everyone sings
better.
along.
1,
2,
this is
3,
gonna make a
4.
weird
I declare a thumb war. When I sing my thumb war song, everyone sings along. 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. When I sing my thumb war. Okay. Thank you, Cassarus. Don't know what was going on there. I like. Yeah. Imagine, what if that just becomes like my thing? People are like, hey, yeah, Sam, he's that guy with that like low demon voice. I've been trying to find out what, you know, what it's going to take to crack the elusive demon voiced market. So I don't know. I guess, yeah. What I'm trying to do right now is like run containers on AWS that I can put microservices in. At the moment, I've got like Nova, this app that probably just fucked my microphone up. Nova is on this deployment service called Railway, which is great. It's been awesome. And it does this video editing stuff. I just want to separate it, the image transformation, media transformation stuff, into a different container, basically. Because it like slows down the rest of the app and it needs different type of hardware, I think. And so I want to try and do it on AWS because, you know, all my images and stuff are already stored on AWS, so it like makes sense. But it's really, really confusing and difficult. So I think I'm gonna just have to go like idiot mode and just keep trying different stuff. Because that's how I mostly figure stuff out, is by just doing it forever until something happens and I'm like, hey, I did it. But as has been the case with every single thing I've done, it's turned out to be harder than I thought. But I guess that's why I do it. I'm a bit fried on it now though. Like, just I've been working a lot for the past year. Okay, Nova, Sweet Red Rover. So I've pulled the image, and I need to run it. Docker, okay, so Docker run -it, I don't know what it stands for, but Visual Cortex. What? Didn't we just pull it? Maybe it needs to be Docker build? Yeah, it is a bit of a, like, I feel like it's one of those things where there's the perfect version in your head and you can kind of let that get in the way of like something that's working. And I think I've been like, yeah, trying to get my head around how to just basically I've gone from my initial idea, which was to make an entire like flexible container service, like, you know, what you would do to just try and make one thing work, which is the right way to go. But I'm like, what am I actually doing this for? I can actually just run it on Railway. I remembered just recently, I was like, oh yeah, I could just do it the way I've always done it and everything else works. But here we are. All right. Okay, so I'm in the terminal now, getting through login with Docker, etc., getting this back. Like at a certain point, I just need to like hand myself to GPT. Also could be Docker run it image name. Yeah, I thought that's because the image name I think is Visual Cortex. I probably shouldn't be sharing my screen with all my plugins. It's too late for that now. That damage is done. Try running the ARM version. What does that mean? What does that mean? I feel like... Okay. Pull the image for a specific platform. There's an ADMD. Docker pull. I don't think there is. But let's see what happens. Like I made the image and I didn't make it for a different platform, I'm guessing. What does that mean? I already did all this. I think. Oh wait, no, so I need to use... Okay, so I feel like I've got two ChatGPTs here. Run the ARM version. Use the... Or when running the container. Rebuild the image for AMD 64. I'm not doing that. 64, alright, that makes sense to me. So I'm going to close this instance, forever snuffed out like a candle at the beach. Actions. So as far as I can tell, this guy is actually running. Like what I did was I like made like a whole cloud formation like stack schema that like deploys instances and da da da. But I realized I was just like didn't know what I was doing. I'm gonna turn this guy off. Is it? Okay, so tests, blah blah, whatever. So how do I make it an ARM version? Uh-huh. I had to do something pretty random just then to like make it let me authenticate. But yeah, I'm liking kind of accessing it. I think that's like, I just have to, like, if I just let go of this, like, I'll say stress in quotation marks. Standalone instance. Like, if I just let go of the stress of, oh, I've got to have this done by this date or whatever, like, this is kind of hobby time, really. And I just kind of like let myself just relax into what I'm doing. You know, it just takes me to lots of interesting places. It's when I'm like, oh, I've got to get this done by this date and it's not working, kind of like calcifies the brain a bit. That's what I'm doing. So issue running docker auth. Found solve here. Yeah, no, for sure. I worked really hard on Nova last year, and I think I kept sort of like telling myself like, oh, this next feature set, this next thing will sort of get it to this point that I can pull back on it, and I, you know, I went hard, and that was great to do too. You know, it's its own way of being sometimes. But yeah, I think like I'm a bit fried from it. So I've kind of like the past week or two, I haven't been putting as much time in, and then realizing like, oh, actually, yeah, it doesn't matter that I didn't get this video thing working on the whatever. Like, no one cares as much as me. Okay, so I'll just have a look at all my. Have you got something you're working on? On that instance, the Docker group didn't exist. Was Docker installed? Oh yeah, I gotta do all this. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a bit out of my depth here, to be honest. Which I think is good that I'm doing this now because, okay, so, alright. So I gotta do all this other shit. Hang on. Oh, God. Yeah, so. I would have assumed Docker. I guess it makes sense. Like, Amazon's given you to the metal, like, here you go, here's a Linux computer. Have fun. Or Ubuntu. I actually don't even really understand the difference between what those things are. I've never actually sort of been using them by accident, I guess. Okay, so I need to do. But like, I'm assuming that like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. But this is the only way I know how to learn stuff. Okay, so if Docker missing, I basically just like take all these notes. Well, I've been taking notes more again lately. Firmware distribution backend for a bit of hardware. That sounds cool as fuck. So we're using that, what is it? I was actually just looking at the firmware, like, protocol. Because, my AIIs, my headphones wouldn't let me, I can't remember, but I was like trying to like crack it so that I could update it. And I saw that there's this sort of like firmware protocol that I guess is, it's That's all I can remember from it. What's the hardware? What's the distribution back end? Tell me more. It sounds cool. Just off camera, I just bought a soldering iron and stuff. Because I want to fix all my broken shit, basically. But I'd love to make a robot. It's kind of my dream. Okay, we got Docker, so I also need to do the AWS config shit stuff. AWS configure SSO. And I'm assuming that it doesn't save it. Nope. Okay. So yeah, it's like, it's funny because like, yeah, with Railway, I sort of like found my way into Docker because it was sort of like the underlying sort of orchestrator where like previously you're using, we're mainly using Nix packs, which configures Docker. So then I'm in Docker like, oh, this is like the, you know, the source truth. But now I'm like in, I guess, Linux. Because I was like, oh, couldn't I just put all this in the Docker file? I'm like, oh yeah, this doesn't even go in the Docker file. There's no Docker. Yeah, this is Linux. So Ubuntu is a type of Linux. All Ubuntus are Linux, but not all Linux are Ubuntus. So I'm like, here we go. GitLab builds, runs, tests, push, built Python-based web hardware, smart name badges, e-ink. Cool. Yeah, fucking hell, man, that sounds crazy. Yeah, I think because I've done heaps of software and game stuff, I'm like digital, whatever. It's just love to be just connecting with physical stuff like that. E-ink. So it's just like, it sounds like a business. As in like, which is good. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, so I've got the Docker, I've got the thing, I've got the thing. All right, come on. I'm assuming that it won't let me run this. Cool. Love to have my own business. Hey, okay, so I was able to log in that time. Yeah, that's sick. The other thing, like, so I work at a VR company basically. Being able to like deploy and handle the VR headsets without having to go through all the, well, it's just shit at the moment. And so there's that like EMS, what's that, like there's the Android protocol, blah blah blah. But that sort of like fleet deployment space is pretty cool, I think. If you've got a specific personality type, I don't think most people would agree that is cool, but I think it's quite cool. Okay, so I'm logged into Docker. Apparently, and I've got the right ARM architecture, which I don't know what that actually is. Okay, gotta log in. AWS configure ECS. AWS configure plus Docker login. I guess I'll just get that. May as well just get that here. Yeah, it's crazy. I was getting like really upset last year. I had to set up and configure and manage like 16 VR headsets, traveling to another country and getting back, and everyone's fucking taking the headsets and leaving the controllers. And but then like yeah, the Meta like management app, I was just like, this is like I don't know enough about it, but I was like pretty upset by the end of it. But there's yeah, it's kind of like that's how you kind of find cool shit, right? So like it made me realize there is an interesting space there because there's this. I guess there's the Bluetooth protocol is the data network, or one of them, and then there's like a device based, however we're connected. Here's the handshakes we'll give protocol that's like the ADB, like whatever that's running on, I guess. And then once you're in each device, its own little operating system. Like I shelled into, so I use ADB with the headsets to like install, push, pull, whatever. And then I shelled into one last year, and I was like, kind of like it clicked. I was like, oh, I see. It's like an OS. Like I kind of knew that, but it's just I don't know. You do something, and you're like, ah. How do I make Docker run? Just do that. Maybe I need sudo and then this stuff. What do you mean? Is the daemon running? We did all this last time. Start the Docker service. Maybe I need to do this. I already did that. Basic auth credentials. So maybe now I do this. Now I can do this. I don't know why that Wait, now this is gonna reboot it. Which will do something. Oh my god. Okay, so I'll close that. Instance as instance. Sorry, that's oops. Okay, let's just see what happens if I pull. Come on. No auth credentials. Okay. Log in. It's my little joke. I hold the gun up. Okay, so maybe I need to sudo auth credentials. I need to AWS configure SSO. Like, this can't be what's needed every time. So that put me onto the session, but I didn't have to authenticate that time, or maybe this is the authentication bit. Okay, so when I say I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown, this is doing me in. I'm just basically being super hyperbolic. It's not it's basically always like this for me. Profiles, Amazon, Docker login, AWS password. So we did something before that just made it work. Yeah. Very much. So maybe is this the right? Oh. Hey! Yeah, sudo. I'm just chuck a little sudo in and see what happens. So is it like maybe sudo is also its own sort of like session type and then, or like, I don't know. It's just a word of power to me. Just docker run dash it. Visual Cortex. I feel like every time I try and give something okay, so is that not what it's called? Or do I need to like? Okay. Decided to spin up ARM architecture. Now, able to log in and pull, though seems a bit circuitous. But we'll revisit that. How do I then run it? I'm using what I thought was image name, but saying doesn't exist. I feel like you didn't pull the image as visual cortex. It's see, you're honestly more helpful than GPT here. I guess it's not fair because you can see what I'm doing. Google run it, and then the ID. Nope. Oh, the whole fucking thing. All right. I'm guessing. Okay, that's good. That's actually what you'd expect, which is so when it's running that, it should. Hey, that's good. So basically, it's saying no module found because it's not actually running the like dependency management stuff. That's all here now. So this Docker file should go do all this shit. Run pip install quart, but we don't care about that. We need to go like pip install run pip install I don't know what this means, but I'll just put it in there. Pipenv, and then pipenv install deploy ignore pip file. Don't ignore pip file. Why would you do that? I guess because you're a auto complete. Here's my pip file for Nova. I mean, not my pip file, what do they call it? So this is my, well, I've got a bash script that does all this fucking bullshit. And then I've got Nixpacks is what does the build configuration, which is just really Docker. I think if I just go and just do this, I guess. What's the difference between run and I guess if I can break this down into Docker speak. Are these two separate things? I can't really tell. It's just, you know what? Pip-env install deploy. Crikey. Pip-env install deploy, and I won't do ignore pip file because that's where everything is. Oh, nope. I feel like that shouldn't be there. Oh yeah, man. I like, or lady, I don't know, whatever. Like I don't. Oh, well, yeah. I sort of like. I don't know what I'm doing. So, well, I sort of do, but like it might be I'm sort of doing the whole like joke of the the big setup with the rake and then you finish and you hit your head on it. Like basically the story of my life. So I think I should be able to push this updated image to Docker. And part of it is that I want to do it all via schemas and command lines because it's just easier for me to track. Once you've figured it out, I guess. So I don't know, like as in, but which is obviously how people do things anyway. But so Docker push. So I've got to, I guess, build this. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. So Docker, Docker, are you there? Okay, yeah, cool. So Docker build. Jeez, I don't even remember how to do this now. So I'm maybe doing parts that are like not even close to needed and super complicated because I'm just cobbling together random tutorials and also just like the random shit that ChatGPT will tell you to do and then it's just wrong. Not wrong, but like overkill. Docker build, here we go. Actually, I guess let's try and do pip install deploy. Python run app.py. What? Oh, pipenv Python app.py. Okay, we're off. So hopefully, yeah. So now this is running. This is like just like a very little video editor that is running a little Quart server. So, and it's using pipenv to manage the virtual environments, which I've had a lot of luck with. I've seen a lot of people struggling with virtual environments that I've seemed to have dodged the bullet of. Okay, Docker build. What does that mean? Docker build x build. Am I? Oh, okay, yeah, Docker build, and then, oh my god, Docker. Nope. And I hadn't used Docker until last year, and someone was like talking about it at work, and I was like, this sounds crazy. Why would you have a computer? Why would you make a virtual computer? It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, it kind of seemed a bit like almost sacrilegious, like in the sense of like, I'm just gonna commit this while I'm at it. Git commit, git, what is it? Add git commit -m, decent pass at media functions plus updates with pipenv, etc. Did not like that. Okay, so maybe that should be a CMD. So I guess you can't have 1, 2. So could I go like pipenv? Yeah, I don't know how I ended up with pipenv. I think I was just like muddling through, you know, I'd made a Python thing and then it's like, get this, get that, and you're like, yeah. So pipenv was just the first, like, it's like a package manager as well, I guess, which is pip3. What's the difference? And environment manager, I guess. And then people are like, oh, you should actually use poetry, and then which I tried to use and it wasn't very good. And then, yeah, so I actually don't know how I ended up with pipenv over something else. What's next? Oh, okay. That ran it. So docker run -it Visual Cortex. Invalid requirement. Looks like a path. The path does not exist. Okay, so change it to that. I use normal pip and then .env. Yeah. That's it was just one of those random things. Don't know why. Because it's probably just like me trying to trial and error at different things working, and then it's just the first one that worked, which is kind of how I learn, I guess. But I wouldn't mind trying out some different approaches. Like I actually finally got Conda because I tried to use Conda before I knew anything about anything. Failed to lock pipfile.lock. What does that mean? Okay. Pipenv lock. This is just unfettered example of, I'll just type in whatever whatever I think might work. Okay, no, but I think probably what it is actually this this bit. It seems important. So I'm just gonna put it here. Kind of seems like it's a because if you're building from this, I don't think the pip file lock, it should just generate from the pip file. So the pip file is just like requirements basically. So I did have a requirements.txt at some stage, and then and I guess what this does is it creates probably whatever .env does, the same kind of thing. Like, but yeah, I finally used Condor, which I realized was just a virtual environment and package manager. That's all anything is. It's what it seems to be the case. Okay, so it ran it. So maybe, oh no, because it installed all that stuff. So I guess, okay, yeah. So, because this is sort of in the, like, if I go to these are the commands. What does this know to have pipenv in the first place? Doesn't matter. Oh, okay, actually, hang on. It might be, it just needs pipenv install that first part is an env, not part of the command. Yeah, you're right. It's like a env, so it's probably better to do it import dash deploy. So this is a flag, like, so should that actually be with the, I actually don't know the syntax for like the Docker CMD stuff. Docker CMD syntax. It's weird, it's like I'm too lazy to ask ChatGPT because I know I have to like ask well. Env. What is it here? pipenv vm vim project. And I might not even need this. Alright, fuck it, I'll just do this. Okay. This is interesting actually, because like, yeah, this is the start command, which is, you know, this. And I'm gonna ask GPT. Oh no, what have I done? No! I guess I just accidentally quit Visual Studio Classic. Okay, so I've got this Nixpax. I don't need much from it, just the pipenv install and then the start. How do I translate this into Docker speak? There we go. I think that's about as lazy as I can get away with asking GPT with it. I found it like, I've done a lot of crazy shit this year and last year thanks to GPT, so I'm very much a fan. I'm a bit like fatigued on, I guess, like the communication side maybe. Not sure. Okay, so I'm quite hungry. Set the goal. That build is running on that instance. Bonus if I can ping it. Ugh, see, if I... Okay, run. Can you have more than one run? I guess you can, yeah, okay, cool. So if I go run pip install pipenv, which is, I might just delete that. And I don't think I don't need that actually. And I guess 3.8 Buster. Why is it 3.8 Slim? I don't know. Actually, I'm just gonna make it 3.8. Can you just make it 3.9? Well, I guess we'll find out. Pip install deploy. Ah, okay, yeah, gotcha. And then I can just get rid of all this shit, hopefully, and see what happens. What's going on there? Oh, yeah, okay. What's your time zone? Where are you typing in from? Scotland. Time in Scotland. Oh, king shit. Late bedtime, love it. Okay, so maybe we'll just try and make that env. I'm half my family's Scottish. My last name's Gowdy, Goudie, which is like a big run pip install pipenv. Maybe if I go like that. Run pipenv install deploy. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so it can't find Python. if I just literally copy this exactly as it is here. Okay. Install and run pipenv with Docker. Pipenv install deploy. Okay, so just this. Why is it ignoring pip file? Oh, maybe it's saying, I guess, I don't know. Alright, I think I'm going to get some food. I'm going to go visit my mum and see how she is. So it's looking to me like I can't find the folder if, look at the error it's giving you. Yeah, so it's like expecting the Python, I wonder if it's because I changed this to something random. Like it's expecting the Python, or does it actually need, no. Okay. Pipenv install no such file directory Python. Need to run pipenv with Python. I don't think that's it, but no, because it's adding Python, so it can't find Python, not the other way around. Okay, yep. Pipenv install deploy. I think that's why it needs the that that virtual env stuff. When was this written? A couple years ago. Okay. That's not very promising. Yeah, which I'm pretty sure is where this comes in, that bad boy. Such file directory uses source VM bin Python. Python not found pipenv docker. Let's ask this. Okay, so let's focus on pipenv and docker. Need to install pipenv get it to run its commands, etc. At the moment, it's saying, can you do some research online to find the best setup? All right. What's pipenv? Full stop. Okay, pip file install. Have you got anything about Docker? Pipenv and Docker containers. Okay. Use a source app, run pip install pipenv, copy pip file and pipfile.lock. That's interesting. Or did I just copy the wrong thing? Yep. It's saying you shouldn't do this anymore, but that's fine. Oh, okay, so maybe I'm doing that copy too late as well, like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna okay, maybe now I'll do this. Fucking GPT. What I find GPT good for is like give me the gist of like the kind of like the language and stuff like that. It's often not correct, but it kind of helps me. Oh, here we go. Okay. Tell pipenv to create VM in the current directory. Okay, fine. So, okay, yeah, so you're not actually supposed to have pipenv like running in the actual container, which makes sense. Work env is user, not user right. Lol, is that a spelling goof? I don't know anything. Like, I don't even remember where I got this from at this point. I'm just trying random stuff, so definitely not, So I wonder what happens if I undo this. And what did you say? Where is this? So, you know your work env is user, not user. Or is it USR? I don't even... Actually, no, I'm just going to try this. So, work to copy. This is fucking crazy. You shouldn't have... What's the point of it? Docker. Okay. Set up... run pipenv on Docker. Hey, here we go. This looks. So what worked? Run worked user source app. Okay, so after this, so yeah, that is right, and then. Okay, pretty good work through of running pipenv and Docker. This looks promising. Pip install pipenv sync instead of install. This is interesting. And then I'm just gonna hit that. I'm so hungry. Hey, thanks for coming on and telling me that my microphone was cooked, and then sticking around and actually helping me with stuff. It's awesome. I would love to give you the satisfaction of, you know, see if I can just get rid of this work to see what happens. Seeing me actually succeed at this, but I'm so hungry. No such file or directory VM. What does that mean? So it's not able to find Python. Pipenv can't find Python. I've literally, I have fixed this before. I know it sounds. Oh, is it because of this? No. Because it like creates like a. Python 3.10 was not found on the system. So can I say that? Oh. Okay, yeah, it's literally that .vm. I knew I'd fucking seen that before. I don't know. I don't know what. Like, I guess, yeah, the VM is getting created at some stage in this, and then it kind of like, it gets becomes part of the build image, and then it tries to find Python there, and it's not there because it's actually depending on, yes, all right, installing dependencies from pip file. This is great, actually. Like, you know, you never actually know what the work is necessarily, and that's where the aversion comes, when you start to see, like, you've got the idea of what you want the work to be, and you're like, wow, I'm looking forward to that, and then there's like this resistance, and it's because there's actually like all this other shit you got to do. That is the work. So like, I think what I'm realizing is that this is a lot of work for what is like pretty low payoff at the moment, because not that many people are using it. Is I'm actually kind of doing the whole virtual environment setup stuff from scratch, which I think is great, because I'm just basically, just for me, I'm getting to see the whole thing from like search command Python. Oh, yeah, okay. So I put, oh, cool. Basically, it's like, oh, great. Like I'm starting to see what see my way through it, but also then see like, okay, I can fit this into the broader puzzle that's outside of the scope of just being able to do this video editing. Is I can, once I get this container flow from a few different angles, I can piece them together in different ways, and that's much bigger than just the video editing stuff. And then, so like, because there's all this other stuff I want to do at work where we do all these big, pretty complex rendering jobs and shit like that. If I can like spin up little specific applications with a little like network of AWS linked kind of worker types and, you know, blah blah blah, might make people's lives a bit easier at work. That'd be really cool. You know, I'm getting ahead of myself right now. You're watching it happen in real time. No such. It's got to be run. Come on, you son of a gun. I'm so hungry. Yeah, I think I'm like starting an extra virtual environment by accident. Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it is weird. Like pipenv, that's what's cool about pipenv is like it makes a virtual environment that runs everything in it. So technically you could have two different like apps on this. Well, actually, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm like in here uh, like I'm in a, what is it, app.py. What am I trying to say here? Something. Workdir. I need a workdir. I need a workdir. Like, you know, it probably needs the dot dash, I guess. Yeah, like I'm in Linux now with the AWS stuff, which I've been doing a bit of with this because I had to like get into Docker to see something, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is the thing before Docker, and now I'm in Docker. Now with the pipenv being like, oh, okay, I can see how it's getting set up there, and it's helping me understand what it's doing on my computer. So I actually don't have a strong opinion on it. I think it's probably over-engineered for what I'm trying to do. There's a lot of times where I'm trying a bunch of random shit to get something to work, and then something works, and then I end up with all the baggage of all the other stuff that I did as well. So I'm like, I don't know which bit made the difference, or what's you know. Yeah, I'm trying to think why pipenv, like, well, I guess pipenv is more for like local stuff, because even in their like docs, they're like, you don't want to run. That's going to be found within the path or pip files scripts. What does that mean? Might just do this. Now we'll copy paste a Rooney. Workdir app. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing now, because I didn't really know what it was, and even in their docs, they're like, don't use it. Well, not don't use it for Docker, but like, it shouldn't be like installed on Docker, right? So it's interesting. All right, I need to eat some food. So like, hey, we got through to the build pipeline, and the running and getting to the thing is all easy, and then the pushing to the cloud, you know, we made progress. So I always do this, and then I just keep trying builds. Like, fuck, it's gonna be a day where I accidentally piss my pants while I'm doing dev, because I'm like kind of like obsessive. Obviously, you kind of have to be to do any of this stuff. But that's enough. I'm so hungry. See you, Casarus. Legend. Where's the stop button? Okay.